into that fight were able to decimate them.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these fights live and die off of the backs of these Reinhardts, which XL2 will be repping here on defense on our assault map, Horizon Lunar Colony. We've seen a lot of Hanamura so far in Season 3, but Horizon Lunar Colony is another really good map to see these heavy tanks come out, and NRG going to be repping that GOATS composition as well. So again, this same mirror matchup. But Boop, what we do want to look for here is for NRG to try and make those opportunities for themselves, of course, but you can't overstay your welcome.
Oh, but the shield bash cooldown is down for XL2, but it doesn't look like they're going to need it. No team needs their Zenyatas, I suppose, as both are going to be down, but in the end, the defensive team will have the advantage here in this fight, particularly because Smex is down and back into spawn.
Yeah, no damage mitigation with no Diva over here, and you don't have the ability to take that high ground, which Wuyao immediately jets up there as XL2 Academy is circling, trying to look for the right time to engage NRG Esports. As we said, it's not all, you don't always have to play the objective, but there's only a slight sliver here, and Cloman steps a foot on, stops the progress.
Well, XL2 was very patient for this. That could end up being a good thing, but Cloman is down, so no Reinhardt for them. The Earthshatter is going to get Mangachu. It took them so long to get back onto this point. They lost all that space. They lost that opportunity to defend.
And they're going to have to give up this point A, hold on to those ultimates for their second fight here on Horizon. I think XL2, Boop, were just not expecting Goliath to go down so early in that fight. As you saw, they had taken the full rotation. We've seen this multiple times now, where XL2 actually take the place of where you would expect the attackers to be, but with that early loss of the Zenyatta, they were forced to reposition and give up that fight.
It was like they were in a position they hadn't practiced, and you could tell in that situation.
Exactly.
You know, the inherent ability wasn't quite there just yet. Kevster does have that Graviton Surge. Energy is getting close to a lot of those ultimates. Rattling down for both spots. Graviton Surge now for NRG Esports. Gets a ton of them. Self-destruct is there, but it's not going to get much. Cloman taken very, very low, and he's going to be taken down all the way. Earthshatter getting free, but the sound barrier did connect right before that happened. Those 3 kills could be enough to get a couple ticks for NRG Esports here on the last point on Lunar Horizon Colony, but the way Assault works is those spawns are going to be really good for the defense.
Really close, but there's barely any bodies left. Jur goes down, but Wuyao will be there, expends that self-destruct. And will the Baby Diva still be alive? A shatter from Clone Man does catch a couple, but it's not going to be quite enough. However, with the loss of both Azire and Kevster, NRG now, they're probably going to give this up as a lost fight. There are too many bodies. The spawn disadvantage is too great for the attackers here.
Yeah, we just said it. They might get 2 ticks, and if it wasn't for that self-destruct, stalling that out for just enough time, Wuyao actually got back into the mech in the end, was the only one there, and you saw that Reinhardt swinging back onto the point. That was just what they needed. It was all about those spawns, and so now the energy has been pushed back a little bit. Let's take a look at those ultimates. We've got Byron with that Transcendence, and Azire getting really close to the rally.
Yeah, and something that we would love to point out here, actually, we talk a lot about the tanks and the positioning, but the supports from both sides have actually been excellent. Goliath as well. He used a Transcendence in the very last fight, and he's gonna have another one to his name to provide a little bit of that buffer. It's so crucial to have a good Zenyatta peppering in that damage, working up to that Transcendence quickly, because you know Azaria of Kevster's ability will have grabs more often than not.
Azare's going to use that rally, and that's going to be code for Energy to engage onto the team. Transcendence is there to keep XL2 alive. There hasn't been an Earthshatter or Graviton Surge to stop that against. Now they're not going to have it, so this is a bad place for XL2 to be, and you're seeing that by the kill feed right now. The self-destruct from Wuyao is out, doesn't get much. Stand 1 is down, so if they're able to stall this, they do have the characters to do it. They have some of the best. Jur knocking some people off of the point. He's not down just yet. They are unable to complete this so far. The spawns again are going to be for XL2. 4 of them are going to be back. Are they going to be able to finish it? No, they haven't. Not. Cloneman with that charge kill onto Byron could be opening things up for XL2. They still don't have the right amount of people to do this, and eventually Energy will be taking this one. Lucio will be the last to fall. They get all 3 points on Energy on XL2 Academy, but look at this. 2 points, my friends. XL2 stalled very, very well there at the end.
Wow, yeah, and Smex coming in with that ham and rolling NRG into that point to take XL2. Just, you know, didn't seem like they were expecting that level of aggression, continuing to brawl things out, even with that man disadvantage. And here it was just amazing. 2 counter grabs, both locking each other in that eternal duel from across the universe. But unfortunately, Clone Man had to deal with that self-destruct, so was forced to be shielding, whereas Stand 1 able to swing freely, and that little bit of damage just put them over the edge. Even though the self-destruct didn't catch any kills solo, all of XL2 was so weakened by all of that damage coming in while they were held in the grab, it was easy for NRG to sweep them up.
Yeah, surprisingly, looking at 4 minutes and 7 seconds, you wouldn't expect someone to say, hey, that could have been worse, but it definitely could have been worse for XL2. They were able to take about 20 to 30 seconds a couple times on their stalls, but now it's going to be their time to try to match or exceed that time bank.
Exactly. I'm expecting extra innings, more rounds coming our way. Boop, assault map, 2 CP. It's really, 6 CP these days. Oh, hello, Tracer. The face of Overwatch.
The only woman in the world that can pull off a pair of Crocs.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Only person in the world that can pull off a pair of Crocs, really.
Exactly. The Croc goggle legging look is, not very common.
Yeah, but do I wear Crocs? Of course.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you can pull it off. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Very, very cool. That's the moral of the story here. But the moral of XL2's story, they're going to be hoping to take their fate into their own hands here. Mangachu may be on this. Sombra would certainly be an interesting and potentially unexpected look for a team that has been playing GOATs for so long. Looks like they will be sticking with it. I know, the scouting, and back to the Brigitte. The mace to the face is just too strong.
Yeah, that Sombra scout is something that's so important for that attacking team to know where everyone is set up. And if they don't know Sombra's been chosen, they're not going to be able to spot her out either. And so now that we're going to see this engagement from NRG, they're going to be the ones to try to take on XL2 in a small space. This actually is good for both teams. GOATs loves beating in a ball, and Clone Man taken very, very low, below half health. If they're able to take him, XL2 will have to reset on this attack, but they have actually race NRG. They're going to be closer to the point than NRG is, but now they're going to go outside. Somehow they can all still breathe outside on the moon. It's super crazy. The science is there, and look how quiet it is.
In the vacuum of space, nobody can hear you scream. Everybody from XL2 just...
Look at all of, look at the jumping. That is what you call quality of Overwatch. And now we're back inside, and everything is going according to plan. Shield Bash on a Clone Man is going to take him down. The Discord Orb was there as well. And finally, after this multi-environment fight, it was inside, it was outside. Now XL2 is going to be inside their spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Zero Gravity is a good look for XL2. They were spending tons of time out there, and really, you are working against the time bank. This is the 7th player that you have to defeat. As NRG have already put up such an impressive push, you can't be wasting time out there in the vacuum. You need to be using that to try and, get up some ultimate percentage, try and catch NRG out. And I was so surprised that Stand actually managed to live. Thought that XL2 was going to be able to take down that Winston, but of course, using his cooldowns very well, and the ally bubble goes onto him, and Kevster glowing with quite a bit of power. Will already have that Graviton Surge on hand. May not even need it, though.
Is this deja vu, my friends? We're outside, and look at that Ragdoll. He's going to be in the vacuum of space for a much longer time. Oh, poor Uyal. Hey, at least he's going to be able to probably be the first person to set foot on that part of the moon.
I know, exactly. A trendsetter.
Instead of a flag, you've got a mech, right? But now XL2, if they try this again, they've not been successful on this path 2 times now. NRG is engaged in almost the exact same way as the first fight.
Exactly. Stand 1 across that corner, just looking to go for a little bit of early Tesla damage. Does spot them out. Leaps to safety. This is the advantage that NRG's composition has. It's so hard for XL2 to actually catch any one of these divers to kill them. So instead, they try and pressure the point. A much better strategy, in my opinion.
XL2 does have the ultimate advantage. The Earth Shatter is going to get at least 4 or actually 5 of them if you see those outlines. And we've seen this before. You get a lot of people in the Shatter, that team's going to win that fight.
Yeah, more often than not, but XL2 expertly taking the space right here, planting the flags on point A of Lunar Colony, and they will complete that. And oh, this is a dangerous place to be if you're the defenders looking down the barrel of a 4 ultimate shotgun coming your way courtesy of XL2 Academy. Clone Man, one of the big things that he's going to be feeling good about is there is no static shielding on the side of NRG, just a dinky Winston bubble that will be burst down in no time. He's already 75% up to his next shatter.
But Izire does have Rally. The Graviton Surge is there. Transcendence knew that it was coming. Byram's going to try to save the team. He's actually the only one in that Graviton Surge. Self-destruct not going to get anything for XL2 Academy. Sound Barrier now means that XL2 is really going to go after this one, but they need to get those kills to make sure that happens. Smek's coming very close to that self-destruct. That can change everything on the plate, particularly for the defensive team. The Earthshatter going to get 3. Byram going to be the first one to go down. Izire will be next. Self-destruct is out. It does get Logic, so this is going to be a little easier for NRG to defend, particularly because of that D.Va D mech. But Kevster's health is going to be not long for this world, and he's going to have to go back to his friends in spawn. They haven't gotten a tick yet, XL2 that is, but Mangachu's going to drop that rally. Logix has gotten onto Tracer to get back onto this point as fast as possible, and that could work for him because Logix is one of the best Tracers in this land.
Indeed, all across the land right here, and XL2 Academy taking this prime piece of real estate on point B. One Winston Butt is going to stall things out for just a little bit longer, but all of that Gorilla is not going to be keeping things from happening. XL2 will also finish out Horizon Lunar Colony.
I think with about 3 minutes and 44 seconds left for XL2, that's a little less than NRG, but because of how close that is, just 30 or so seconds, this is anybody's game still.
Yeah, there is a little bit of an advantage. You never quite know what could happen in 30 seconds. You got an Earthshatter.
It's a whole fight.
You get a Transcendence. You never quite know, but what we do know for sure is Clone Man was feeling it in that last fight. It's so good to come up against a team that isn't running an enemy Reinhardt. You can really go free that all of that hammer damage coming through, and he's building Earthshatters extremely quickly, and you also have that added benefit of knowing that more likely than not you're going to be landing them.
And so NRG Esports knows exactly what they need to do. They have to stop XL2 with 3 minutes and 43 seconds in that time bank. They're going to really try to stop him at A, but if they're able to take it, they don't get much time back. And so they really, though, they want to make this as easy as possible for themselves and stop him as soon as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily play the long-term game here up against a team like XL2, but I mean, I would actually say, you know, don't go all in necessarily on point A. Save a little something for the honeymoon. You know, more likely than not, you're going to have to defend that point B, and the worst position in the world to find yourself in is up a creek with no ultimates.
And so they have about the same amount of time as they would to start with. They're actually a little bit below the starting time, but now that the gates have opened, Mangachu will be just scouting, because that's exactly what the Sombra is used for here at the beginning. Very similar to what Hanzo was done in King's Row in the past, and now that we're seeing the real team comp, XL2 is looking for that right engagement.
Yep, and Clone Man working on those quads, squatting here and coming out up from underneath NRG, who dropped down to try and engage them on the objective.
Yeah, this is how they were able to win it last time, but with Goliath going down super early, this could be a moot point for XL2 Academy, but they're going to try for this thing anyway. The arm pack is down. Shield dash is going to be up in a couple seconds. It's actually up right now. 7 seconds left. The DMAC is actually going to happen for XL2 Academy, but that's going to be the only good thing for them so far, as NRG does put up the defense.
Yeah, a good defense off the back of an early pick onto Goliath. Once again, a really unlucky, not going to be feeling happy on that Zenyatta right now, but how often can NRG find those clutch and early kills is going to be the question for me. They did play that objective very well, dancing out around the periphery of the XL2 Academy death ball. They knew that they couldn't sustain 1v1, but ooh, smacks down. That's going to be a heavy loss.
Yeah, that's a huge loss, Ham. You are definitely right on that sentiment. 6v5 on to the objective right now. NRG's going to really need to burst somebody down. Primal Rage for stand 1 is out and about. The fisticuffs are getting thrown. He's going to get thrown right back into his base. And now XL2 Academy also has 3 ultimates. Not only are they prepared for this fight, they're prepared for the next one too.
Yes, this is going to be a massive ultimate showdown on point B of Horizon Lunar Colony. NRG, though, you know, you got one good defense on board, and that's going to be a feels good. You have to carry that with you into this point B defense. Byram's Transcendence will be one of the few tools that NRG has to hold back the wave of XL2 Academy, who are going to have this D.Va Bomb self-destruct, or rather this Graviton self-destruct combo coming up.
Yeah, XL2 has over 2 minutes, so they're going to get a couple tries at this, so they don't have to expend all of those ultimates. Rally is out now for Izire to get the damage mitigation there. XL2's rocking some of the old armor. Earthshatter is going to get Kevster, and hello, I'm Halo. Is that going to be enough? We shall see. But the thing is, 1 tick could be good enough for XL2 at this point. Every tick does matter. Self-destruct going to be trading kills on both of those. Brigitte Soundbarrier now out for both teams, so everyone's got the shielding, everyone's got the health, except for some members of NRG Esports, as Clone Man has started to pop off here at the end of Lunar Horizon Colony, buttering him up and knocking him down. Kevster and Hello, I'm Halo are going to be the last 2 to be on at this point. Zaire will join them here in just 1 second, but the stagger is real coming from XL2 Academy.
Yeah, XL2 Academy, Clone Man, it's hard not to feel it. Everything is a nail to Clone Man's hammer right here, stand one, not standing a chance versus that angry German Crusader, and XL2 will lock up 4 points on Horizon Lunar Colony.
And they got about a minute and a half left, so they're going to have some time in the time bank if this does go some more extra innings, my friend. So NRG Esports knows what they have to do. They have to get both points. They do have a substantial time bank, though.
Yeah, that charge kill onto Kevster. The Transcendence was actually there, but not enough to save that Zarya from the burst damage of the charge coming through. Clone Man right here, just providing ample distraction. I would say that's what I tell my team. I'm taking the front line's attention, guys.
Yeah, I'm like Tracer. I'm just annoying,
exactly.
right? So the Reinhardt faces the wrong direction.
I'm a huge 300-pound Tracer. That's exactly what Reinhardt is.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, that's some good advice.
Yes,
some high-quality color.
Can you imagine? Let Reinhardt blink.
That would be awesome.
Terrible.
Please make that. Please.
Awful. Oh well, I mean, it would certainly make a Reinhardt, death matches a lot more interesting.
I'd be okay with Reinhardt dash resetting.
Yes, please, Papa Jeff. If you are listening to this great Week 2 cast, let Reinhardt dash reset. You get that charge kill. You should be able to get another one. That's just,
at least
you deserve it.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
You've earned that. You earn it, and if anything I've learned in life is when you earn it, that feels the best,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
And extra charges will always land. But now that we're back into this game, we're seeing some similar compositions coming from both sides. We're going to see that 3-3 triple tank, triple supports, GOATS comp from both XL2 and NRG Esports. NRG, again, knows what they need to do. They have about 4 minutes to grab both points, so they are kind of on the clock.
Yeah, they have to try and finish this as quickly as possible. Oh man, there we go. That is called creating an opportunity for yourself, my friends. You saw that Hello Halo was actually on a Hanzo to try and scout things out, but the arrow just didn't land, man.
It didn't get to the right place, and that's a feels bad, man. And what was so cool about that is I bet some members of NRG jumped up at that point in time. They're like, oh my god. Oh, they're there. They're there. The whole team. It's everybody.
Like an ice cube down your back is just so startling. And
that's exactly right. Yeah.
But what's even worse, though, for NRG is now they lost one fight. They still have time, but they're going to be getting into that ultimate phase of the battle when they have to be expecting shatters coming their way, or just good old-fashioned pickoffs, as Byram will now be reprising the role of Goliath as Zenyatta dies first.
And so they're going to go out to the moon as well. They're going to invest the Earth Shatter. Actually, no, someone did go down onto the ground. It might have been a double charge. It's so quiet in space, no one can hear you scream. But XL2 will have some ultimates available for this next push.
Yeah, and that is what's going to be so hard for NRG. You can either try and speed boost past it, where you're going to likely be caught out by either this grab or the Earth Shatter, or you just have to face them. But that's going to be so much time bought off of the clock. XL2 are looking really pretty.
Pretty indeed, but now their NRG is going to try to engage once again. They're going to go to the same flanking path that XL2 failed on twice. So NRG say, hey, we're going to give it a couple shots as well, but XL2 is not going to let them do that. They're actually going to take that space away from them and be hyper-aggressive. Smex is a D-mech. They're going to leave him out of the mech, which in times is better, but they will end up confirming that kill, forcing the reset of NRG.
Goliath just, showing off his aiming skills, man. That's what that is. And XL2 actually, oh no, Byram goes down as well. So XL2 playing this really well. They showing no fear in the face of NRG right now. They have 2 wins to 0, and they want to make this the 3rd, and they have the tools to do it. Once again, they haven't had to use any of these ultimates to secure their wins.
But XL2 has a ton at their disposal. NRG, though, is getting close to theirs. They will finally have a fight where they will have ultimates and potentially match XL2 in their ultimate game. Goliath has that Transcendence to go against Kevster's Graviton Surge win, and if that doesn't go down, but look at this, Mangachu getting taken down kind of low. A lot of XL2 Academy is taken down a little bit low, but they're being very, very patient. They're not aggressing. They're not forcing things. They're going to wait for the opportunity for NRG to cede some space and take them back. And NRG hasn't been able to choose exactly how they want to attack this point.
Yeah, XL2 are like, okay, you want to play tag? I'm totally down, because you have to be the ones making the move as the attackers here. Logic looking for that grab.
Oh, the grab only gets Hello, I'm Halo and Byram. That could be enough. Transcendence is forced out from NRG Esports. They have 3 more ultimates to use, and XL2 only has 5 more people to use on this point. So now this is a numbers advantage for NRG Esports. The first one they've had all round so far. Transcendence from XL2 is going to stall this point out just a little bit longer. Graviton Surge is out as well. Sound barrier from Jur is going to keep all of XL2 alive. Clement will be back with that Earth Shatter. Let's see if he's going to be able to take advantage of it. He's not going to need to, as the rest of XL2 are going to be taking these kills. But with 45 seconds left, NRG will have another opportunity.
Will have another opportunity. Dying as fast as possible is what's going to be on the page right now for that poor Zenyatta. I just want to point out, even though NRG lost that fight, Byram, he wasn't sure if Hello, I'm Halo would be able to get out of the way of that self-destruct. So in Transcendence form, he body blocked that explosion for his fellow support, and that just warms the cockles of my heart. But NRG are hoping for more than just warm fuzzies, as they are now down to their last engagement here, and they have no tools on hand.
And Clement does have that Earth Shatter, who y'all will have a self-destruct. They're going to be trying to go into the left side. XL2 did have some good advantage on doing that, but they're going to switch sides this time. They only have 6 seconds to get on the point. This will be the last fight, potentially, for NRG Esports. The Graviton Surge does get all of them, and this is going to be it for NRG Esports. The kills are there. Great grab coming from Logic's. Perfect timing on that, and XL2 will be winning the series 3-0.
Perfect timing and perfect positioning as well, Boop. You catching that wall. We have seen, it's like we're playing, you know, hungry divas these days. They've gotten so good at gobbling up those Graviton Surges, and it's such a valuable ultimate. You don't want to throw it into the wind or the Korean future vacuum, as it were. So, you know, Logic's throwing that out, that grab, using the wall to block that line of sight. Even if the Diva had been there ready with the Matrix, it wouldn't have been eaten up. And you have the added benefit of holding everybody together so you get the clean team wipe, but also just, you know, keeping them from being able to touch the point. Now you put NRG in such a position that they have to not only worry about their positioning to stay alive, their positioning who they're going to be aggressing upon to get those kills, but just the fact, like, can we actually touch this point?
Well, one thing that I saw in NRG is almost like they were thinking too hard. They were trying to over mind game some people. They couldn't exactly pick how they wanted to enter this point. And yes, a lot of that has to do with XL2's defense, but do you think that was a bit of a problem for them there?
It did. They tried that wraparound through the hallway 2 or 3 times, and it is, you know, extra innings and point A's can be very hard to defend, but, you know, you're playing against we're playing with borrowed time right here, and NRG, you know, were just caught unawares multiple times by XL2 and punished for it.
Yeah, they had over 4 minutes to grab that first point, and XL2 were able to take it away from them. Moving up 3-0, we still have one more map to go, but XL2 has won the map set so far. And now we're talking about map win-loss differential. Coming in today, NRG had one of the best ones, getting that sweep last week against Skyfoxes 4-0. But now that we're entering Dorado, they're really looking to take this map away.
Oh yeah, no, that would be such a feels good. You never want to give the enemy team the ability to sweep you. It really says something, you know, about kind of your standings in what is a very competitive Group B right now. So Dorado also, you know, lends itself to different kinds of play styles, especially on point A. We've seen some teams, you know, take a very different route. Talking about, you know, Widowmakers, Tracers, Dive coming back, Mercies.
May, the Igloo in the house.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that you bring up a really good point. I'm hoping that people have been watching the tapes, and we may be seeing a little bit of that icy hunker and bunker May with Orisa. You can actually stall in that little room right off the attacking spawn and just bunker up in there, use the wall and the Orisa shield alternately so they can never break through, and you stall the cart.
Yeah, you can contest the point behind the wall even when you're in that cryo. So the way to do it is you're going to try to get those ultimates. They have to walk into the room. So if they do, they could get separated and die, right? But then if they are able to stall, everyone will get ultimates and you will have an advantage. But the big thing there is you're going to be feeding the opposing team ultimates as well.
Yes.
So there's definitely going to be some give and take. And while we can be hopeful that we are going to see it sometime today or in the future, as of right now, it doesn't look like it. As we're seeing things that are very familiar. We're back on the farm, my friends. We're looking at some goats.
Yes, exactly. Goats right there. Or dotes. Did we decide upon the nomenclature? Dive, goats.
Not a fan.
You like floats better?
I just like saying goats and then just talking about what it is. Yeah.
It's anyways, regardless
too many choices is a bad thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We do not want to get paralyzed by all the options.
Yeah.
NRG are going to be attacking first, so they have the chance to set the pace here. XL2 Academy bringing out that Reinhardt Zarya patented look for Overwatch right now, and they're looking to hold up pretty close. This is actually actually, you know, not too bad. You have a lot of sustain here, and Wuyao on that Diva going to be on the building, on the tops of the buildings, already scouting things out. Even if you get wiped at this point of the map, you're guaranteeing yourself one more shot to defend by the time the cart makes its way all the way through. So this is actually a pretty safe holding spot.
Yeah, in the past, they would just seed this space all the way up to the archway sometimes. So I love what teams are doing now. It's pretty consistent at this point that they're going to hold really far up, because why not, right? You are going to get back in time. The ally barrier from Zarya on XL2 is down, so Cloman's going to be a little bit vulnerable. NRG, though, still deciding how they want to deal with this defense. XL2 is backing up just a little bit. And look at this, Stand 1 is going to try to jump into the back line. He is still pretty high health, but he does have the Discord Orb on him, and that could be enough. Some really good headshots from Goliath are going to butter him up, and Logix will put him down just like he does on Izire. So this up-close defense working very well for XL2 right now.
You saw what Stand was trying to do there. Wait for your cooldowns, look for the opportunity, dive into the back line, throw down that shield, and cut off those lines of sights for the enemies in Yada. He's trying to isolate Goliath, make it so much more difficult for him to contribute to the team. The orbs are going to have to hit the shield first, but unfortunately he himself found his position in no man's land. He was taken down very early, and now XL2, they have to be expecting this shatter. Again, they don't have any static shielding to block it.
Cloman was stunned. That means the shield dash is down. Graviton Surge is going to get a lot of XL2 Academy. They're going to invest both support ultimates to keep them alive. Self-destruct has been launched. Will catch Jur. I guess his toenails were a little bit too long, and maybe even his fingernails. But now the rest of XL2 are going to confirm the rest of the kills. The self-destruct is the only good thing so far for NRG. But hey, I spoke a little bit too soon. Stand with that Primal Rage will be killing off Goliath. So the trades are happening instead of absolute domination from one of these two teams. And that's why this team fight has gotten smaller and smaller. But in the end, XL2 does win it.
Yeah, slowly everybody's leaving the party, but there are more members still left on the side of the defense. And most crucially, of course, was Logix's Zarya, glowing with the power of 1,000 suns, expended an ultimate, a Graviton in that last fight. Is already going to have, you know, 65% up to another one. So this incredible ultimate generation, you have, you can just assume that he's doing tons of damage based off of that one statistic. Byram now working himself up to a Transcendence, going to be crucial coming up here as the payload does make its way under the bridge.
Oh, they're going to use Sound Barrier as an offensive push, but the Earth Shatter calls it out, knocks a bunch of them down, and the charge kill is going to say, hello, I'm Halo. I know what you were trying to do. You got that Sound Barrier, and I'm going to take it away from the rest of your team and you. But now Logix has that Graviton Surge. Is he going to invest his energy? Is going back right now. Doesn't look like he is, but he's so strong with that 100 energy. He's doing so much damage. Oh,
Tons of, it's just gross. Logix has been lighting up the kill feed so far. All you have to do is, you know, even a HamTornado Zarya could probably press W and mouse 1 with that high of energy and get something done. But NRG, you know, unfortunately they tried to engage with that sound barrier, but XL2, you know, threw up a crack in the sidewalk. They tripped, fell flat on their faces, and now they're going to have to come back at it once again with their own grab and potentially a Transcendence should they choose to invest it here. But it's going to be a different route of engagement for NRG. This has to be it. They're down to their last fight.
And they do have potentially 5 ultimates. Logix with that Graviton Surge. Byram, though, with the Transcendence trying to counter that out. Hello, I'm Halo actually taken very low. Stand 1 with that Earth Shatter, not going to get anything from it. Self-destruct now from Uyal, not going to get anything either. So he's back in his mag. Now Cloman does have that Earth Shatter. Kepster has the Graviton Surge. That's going to be the next big ultimate that we do see, and he is going to go ahead and drop that right now. Sound Barrier to counter that Graviton Surge. Self-destruct not getting anything once again. So these teams being very, very disciplined on making sure the self-destructs aren't getting that value.
Very disciplined is XL2, but NRG right here, what a counter shatter from Clone Man. Things were looking so good for NRG to finally capture this first point at least, but with 10 seconds left, I don't even know if they're going to be able to touch. Stand now on that Desperation Ham, and they're going to have one more shot at this.
All right, at least the payload is pretty close to their spawn. They haven't made a lot of a distance. It's going to be a foot race now. All those calisthenics, all those 10-mile-long jogs have to come in handy. They did not make it on to the point. NRG will be losing this on point A, not getting a single point here on Dorado.
Oh, Clone Man swung his hammer, and that tiny bit of knockback was enough to keep the Hammond from touching the payload. It's not often that you see the bowling pin hit the bowling ball, but NRG, they tried their absolute best here. It just didn't quite come through for them, and oh, look at that counter shatter, so good. Stan was taken down, you know, almost in entirety while he was on his back.
You know, that's just, you know, that's a feels good, man. Then Logix was able to take advantage of the lack of that shield with that 100 energy Zarya and just burst people down. That DPS was so good there for Logix, getting a triple kill in the end. But now XL2 knows what they have to do. They have to get past the green box of victory, which is pretty close to their spawn.
That is not a lot of distance to cover for sure, Boop. So XL2, they can, again, knowing that win condition, they can set themselves up for these fights. We're probably not going to see the Bastion, but it would work here, especially if you know you only need to take maybe 2 clean fights before you have traversed that distance and won out the map.
Yeah, we've seen it pop up in other regions. We saw it pop up yesterday with Snillo on that Bastion on Route 66, and these payload maps, you know, the original El Presidente, protect the, you know, protect the president, or depending where you're from, prime minister, if you will.
Yes.
But the way that this works is you just pop up shop on the payload, or you don't have to actually. Snillo actually was able to reposition in really good places to set up a crossfire.
NRG, though, they have the option to scout out this comp should XL2 be rolling out with the Bastion. Nope. It is going to be D.Va once again.
It would have worked.
It totally would have worked, just saying. But XL2, they're going to go with their bread and butter here. It's back to PB&J sandwiches, one of Stan's favorite foods, no doubt, repping this monkey. But he has to pay attention to that positioning once again. Down in the back line, drops the bubble.
Yeah, the Divas are taking each other down right now. Huyal has joined the rest of this fight, but look at Smex's position. This means that he is not peeling for that backline. They do not have that defense matrix for them, and he's going to be taken very, very far down. The low half health, the Harmony Orb might not be enough to keep him in this mech, especially now that Stand 1 is down as well. No Harmony Orb for everyone now as Byram is back to that spawn. XL2 is looking good on this first fight. The payload is going to continue.
Yeah, I'm not sure if NRG are going to be able to get a full 6-man touch on this payload, and XL2 know it. They're pushing forward so aggressively, you know, just checking to see what's coming out of the spawn here. Stand now back onto that Hammond. Somebody has to get here. Oh, he runs into a roadblock. They're not going to be able to touch.
Oh, that is what you call deja vu. Yeah, unable to touch on that Hammond, so close, but the shield dash that time is going to be the reason why unable to make it to the payload. XL2 wins this 4-0. What a flip-flop result for NRG, having the fastest game of last week, up 4-0 on Skyfox, is now against XL2 on the other side of that.
Yeah, it is always feels bad to be on the other side of the aisle there, but it is just, you know, pretty risky when you are running those dive tanks versus on defense. It really is very position and cooldown based right here. You saw that you pointed it out, actually. You called it, Boop. Smex was on the opposite roof on NRG's defending phase. He wasn't able to lend any of that Matrix to help either his backline or his Winston. Stan was actually going to be the first one in that fight, I believe, that went down at the hands of Clone Man. Sometimes your legs get too tired, you can't jump anymore.
Yeah, once you lose that beef, you leave the buffet. Right? Exactly. No beef, no buffet. But now that we're looking at NRG at 1-1, they have lost all of their map win-loss differential. They are at a +0 now at 1-1. XL2 does move up to a 2-1, looking pretty on top of those standings until the end of today, possibly. But now that we're going to look at these transcendences and sound barriers, so one thing that we don't talk about in general in a lot of esports is support players and their impact on this game.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Jur went down to Smex's bomb here gave XL2, you know, much harder time coming up against NRG than otherwise would have happened. We actually saw multiple times where XL2 was able to use the fact that the enemy Lucio had gone down to be secure in the fact that they could push forward aggressively without getting punished. As I mentioned earlier, that speed boost is so crucial, not just to engage, but to get your team out of trouble as well. You gotta, you know, Inspector Gadget, doot, and then just, you know, like get out of the harm's way, because, you know, if your Ryan is shielding, right, then he's not doing any damage to the enemy Ryan's just laying into all of you. It is bad news bears.
Speaking of Reinhardt, someone that did impress me was a Clone Man. Had some really big shatters to bring XL2 back from the brink in a lot of these fights. Got a 5-man a couple times on a bunch of different maps, all 3 I think actually. But Clone Man playing really, really well in this GOATS comp.
Oh, and that right there is just an example of that heads up Reinhardt play. You saw that Clone Man was caught in the grab, but he knew that he had that 750 HP sound barrier to give himself that little bit of room, drop the shield, lay down the hammer, expecting that the entirety of NRG would be like, oh my god, we got him in the grab. So they're going to be, you know, shedding all of their barriers and like walking forward, ready to like kill some fools. But, you know, in that, they're going to be very vulnerable to a counter shatter, which is exactly what happened. That's just such, you know, heads-up play, because as anybody who's played Reinhardt, there is that little bit of delay from you proccing the shatter and it actually landing.
Well, that is going to be it for Game 1 today. XL2 taking down NRG in a 4-0 sweep. But hey, that's not all for us. We're going to get to Game 2, which is Gladiators Legion versus Team Envy. Both 0-1. Playoff picture is in play right here, right now. Both teams are looking to be a little bit better in the second week. But first, we got to take a break. We'll see you on the other side.